Okay, part two on my story and why I decided to transition. Um, okay, so I was at high school and self-mutilation and all that good stuff. Well, um, I don't know what you'd call her. Church youth leader is what you'd call her. Knew that I was depressed, and I think she had found my journal or something. So she had, told my parents. They had looked through my room, got my journal, that kind of stuff. And it was pretty intense stuff. So they sent me to therapy, um, which is fine. It didn't do anything for me. I think it's because I just didn't know what was wrong. It may have helped a little bit and helped me view different things a little bit differently, and that was great. But it didn't do a whole lot, and I didn't really like my counselor. So, graduated from high school, still depressed, that kind of stuff. I went off. What did I forget anything? Oh, I did drink a lot in high school to kind of numb my pain. I drank a good amount, more than I drank in college or any time after that. Um, but that's about it. So that was high school. Okay, so college, I went off to a very big school, and I was very, very depressed. I couldn't do it. I wasn't ready for it. I was one of the youngest in my class, and I just was not ready to leave home, being that depressed. So after the first semester, I came home. I went to the doctor and got on antidepressant medicine, and that helped a lot. There was still the underlying depression and kind of feeling, how just wrong and not knowing. I had no idea why I felt the way I did. Um, but the medication did help a lot. So I was growing confidence from that. I had my first experience with a woman, I don't know, my sophomore year maybe. It was either freshman or sophomore year of college. Something like that. And that's when I finally realized, oh, I must be a lesbian. This makes sense. It feels right. I'm actually attracted to women. I got feelings like I never had with men, so I figured out that I was a lesbian. So I came out as a lesbian. I eventually cut my hair short. It went from being here to a little longer than this, but barely, maybe an inch. I just cut it one day, and I just always wanted short hair. I just didn't go do it. There's a lot of things I wanted, but never went for myself. I just sort of went on life and had other people decide things for me, I think, and just did things to make other people happy. So I cut my hair. I eventually went off. When I came home to get on meds, I went to community college for a year and a half and got my AA. Then I went up to another different state university that was smaller, and it was a lot better just because it was smaller. It wasn't giant classes, so it was a lot better for me and my learning style. And when I did that, I finally came out to my parents since I wasn't under their roof anymore, and as a lesbian, and they were okay with it. I emailed them, and my dad didn't say anything. And I know he didn't want me to be gay from a very young age. Well, when I was in high school, he would say things like I wasn't like that, like my gay friends, and I would say no because I didn't know that I was. But my mom wrote some emails to me that would say she was shocked and she was losing her daughter, and not really, but she was losing the hopes and dreams she had since I was born, like gaining a new son and having this big wedding and having grandkids. And so I straightened it out, like she may not gain a son. I could still have a big wedding. I don't know. I'm definitely going to have kids. They may not be mine. I've always wanted to adopt. You just didn't ever know that. And then she'd keep going, so I finally said, let's not talk about it. Over the years, she's totally fine. Shortly after that, I met my now partner, Megan. And we got together in college. Once my mom met her, it grew on her. They love Megan like their own daughter, especially my mom. So that's good. that she actually has a daughter. So I was a lot happier coming out of lesbian, kind of feeling my place. I was still depressed. I still didn't feel right. I still wasn't happy, but I was a lot happier, and it was a lot better when I was with Megan. I stopped self-mutilating, cutting myself, and she made me promise that I would, so I did, and it was much better. What does this say? Oh, after meeting Megan, after a little while, I was still a tomboy, but I did try being a little more girly. I don't know why. I think I was just trying to make myself like it. And all that entails, like, I still never would paint my fingernails or put makeup on. I think I had, like, powder, concealer, and blush, but I've never put any eyeliner or mascara or anything on. I think I'd poke my eye out if I did that. So being girlier for me was shaving my legs and, you know, wearing a real bra, not a sports bra, having more of a low-cut shirt, not too low, but lower, and wearing capris. I had never worn capris before, so I bought a pair of capris. It just didn't feel right, and it made me more depressed. So I kind of stopped that, went back to being less girly, which is how I always was. Wouldn't really shave my legs. That kind of stuff. And there's kind of I joined LiveJournal at some point. I was in college and I would journal a lot. I'm not sure where I started to get the whole trans idea. I really have no idea. It may have been, I was the president of our gay group in college, so it may have been something we did there, or I think I've always kind of had an idea. It's kind of like before I came out as a lesbian, I was always attracted, not like sexually, but just attracted to other gay people, especially lesbians, you know. I just felt a connection with them. I think the same thing started happening with trans people. So I would do more research, and once I got engulfed with research, I kind of figured out that that must be me. So I'm not sure when exactly that happened, but it was sometime early in college. Excuse me. And I had brought it up to Megan, you know, just kind of in passing. We would watch trans movies. I can't remember what the one's called right now. About this husband who becomes trans, and so he becomes female, and his wife, you know, still accepts him even though it's hard. Anyway, it really touched me, made me cry, and I just didn't realize why it meant so much to me. And Megan still asks, like, well, why didn't you just tell me then? It's like, well, I didn't realize it. Sort of, but so I kept learning more. I would just engulf myself totally in trans research, that kind of stuff, getting friends, trans people online, on LiveJournal. So it started out slowly. I should probably stop this again because it's going to get close to 10 minutes. But look for part 3.